Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome! This is awesome!
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. I'm your host Luke and you are the Cheap Shot Nation. We are going strong now, 210 subscribers on YouTube and many followers on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which is all the places you can go and find us, of course. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and like the video and hit the notification bell to know when we upload new content to the channel. Anyway, this is your run through of NXT UK this week, NXT number 51. So by next week we'll have been going for a full year. That is insane. But we've got some good matches coming up next week as well for the 1 year anniversary of NXT UK. So yeah, it was aired on the WWE Network on the 10th of July 2019. Also happens to be TJ's birthday, which was fantastic. And yeah, so happy birthday TJ for that one. I've said that on 3 different videos now and none of them will have gone up by the time she's already had her birthday and turned 11 already. But there you go, that's showbiz. It was at the Download Festival in Derby, or Derby as they call it in America. Derby, obviously muddy fields everywhere, lots of funny camera angles of wrestlers walking through muddy fields in boots. We even got Nina Samuels climbing a fence so she didn't have to walk through the muddy fields in her wellies, which was quite funny. Anyway, we're going to go straight into the show. We've got a lot to get through this week, a lot of storylines being moved on and quite a few matches actually, which was really cool. So yeah, join us for the video. So your first match this week is Ilya Dragunov of Moscow, Russia. Brings an intensity to the ring that very rarely we see in wrestling. Reminds me a lot of the Ultimate Warrior with his intensity. And obviously he ramps that intensity up throughout his matches. He's going against Ashton Smith, someone who we have seen live in Southside Wrestling, which was pretty cool. Yeah, it would be Dragunov who would win after a very game Ashton Smith upped his game. There was a lot of one-upsmanship to start with. Then Ashton Smith realised that he had to get more aggressive. Only problem is, when you get more aggressive with Dragunov, he gets 10 times more aggressive with you. And that leads to the finish, Torpedo Moscow, and the pin for the win for Ilya Dragunov over a very game Ashton Smith. So that is your first match. And it was actually a pretty long match, and it was a decent match as well. Cracking opener for the show. And it got the crowd going. Again, that's a definite plus. And like I say, 2 guys with a lot to prove in NXT. Obviously, Ashton Smith has been on the losing end of most of his matches. And Dragunov, I don't think has lost yet. So, yeah, that gives you an idea of the size of that match and what it would do to either guy. So it's catapulted Dragunov further up the card, whereas it makes Ashton Smith go further down the card in terms of NXT UK. We next get an interview with Xia Brookside, pretty much an ever-present on NXT UK in the women's division. And she talks obviously about Ginny and Jazzy Gabert being a thorn in her side over the last couple of weeks, costing her several different matches throughout that time. And obviously we're probably most likely going to get a Ginny versus Xia Brookside match in the near future, but obviously Ginny is hiding behind Jazzy Gabert, so I don't know how they're going to get around that one. Anyway, we move on to the next match. It is a women's division match. It is your women's champion in NXT UK, Toni Storm, going against the up-and-comer Candy Floss. And we have seen her in Wrestling Resurgence, very good technical in-ring performer, and obviously very much on NXT from the beginning, on NXT UK, doing little bits and bobs here and there. That being said, same goes for Candy Floss. She has been an ever-present, but she hasn't actually won a match. So she's gone toe-to-toe with both champions that we've had in the women's division, this being the second champion, obviously, Toni Storm. She's gone toe-to-toe both of them, so it's definitely raised her stock. Obviously, Toni Storm knows how to go through the gears, being the champion, and that's pretty much what led to the finish. It would be the experience edge of Toni Storm picking up the victory over the still in training. She had I don't know why she had a trial with WWE NXT UK, because she's already on the shows, but she was pictured there. Maybe she was like a go-between, like a semi-professional gal to talk to the others, who most of them will probably know Candy Floss from the independent circuits over the last couple of years, whereas Toni Storm, obviously she's good in the independents, but she was obviously big enough by that point to hit Progress and things like that. So the lower part of the indie circuit she would not be familiar with, although she has wrestled for Hope Wrestling, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Toni Storm would show her experience edge here, going up the gears as a champion. The championship was not on the line in this match. Obviously with Kaylee Ray winning the over-the-top Battle Royal to announce the number one contender for the NXT UK Women's Championship. This was not a championship match, but Candy Floss showed what she could do. She showed her worth in this match. Like Storm that would pick up the victory here. Storm goes through the gears about halfway through the match, hits the Storm Zero and gets the win. Not many ladies will kick out of the Storm Zero, and Candy Floss is definitely not one of them. Anyway, as Candy Floss, Toni Storm is celebrating in the ring, Candy Floss heads up the ramp, licking her wounds, so to speak. Out comes Kaylee Ray and attacks Candy Floss. Obviously, Candy Floss gained a lot of respect from the champion, so the champion then runs up the ramp and tries to make the save. Kaylee Ray disappears. She sent a message to the champion through Candy Floss and attacking a youngster in the ranks, a young lion, if you will. And obviously Kaylee Ray scarpers. Ligero talks next about his mask and how he needs to go through the gears himself. He's gone through quite a few matches where he's been winning. He's gone through quite a few matches now where he's lost. So he needs to get back in the game, and I think he can do that. I've seen him many times. He can go through whatever gears you put in front of him, whatever competitors you put in front of him. Ligero is legit, and he will get there or thereabouts in the NXT Championship picture in the near future. So Trent Seven then comes down to the ring, and he gets a microphone and talks about Tyler Bate and how he's doing. He's announced as injured, so Tyler Bate will not be appearing on NXT UK TV for a while. And Trent Seven says he doesn't care about the championship. He just wants Walter one-on-one in a match. So when that will happen, I don't know. Obviously, this time next month we've got a pay-per-view. I don't think that's going to be for the championship, but I do think that there's possibility here for Trent Seven to pick up the victory over Walter, moral victory, and then be given a championship match at NXT TakeOver Cardiff. Now, my main tip for NXT TakeOver Cardiff would have been Eddie Dennis if he'd come back in time. Sadly, he's had to step away from the ring for a little time while he's healing up. Literally, #heal. And it would have been nice to see him at NXT Cardiff. No doubt we're going to see the Modfather and Mark Andrews at some point during that show. It is their home country after all, and Wild Boar hopefully as well, which would be pretty cool. So the challenge is sent to Walter. We next get an announcement that Mark Andrews has called out Cassius Ohno, and that match will happen next week at the 1 year anniversary, which is pretty cool. We next go on to our main event, which is The Hunt. My boys, The Hunt. The Wild Boar, Mike Hitchman, and the Primate teaming up with Dave Mastiff, another one of my boys. You know, all three of them are in my squad for Fantasy League. I'm not doing very well, so there you go. Maybe I just won't do it next year. I'm going to throw my toys out of the pram and not bother next year. But there you go. That's fine. I'm quite happy doing the prediction league. And they're going against Gallus. So Gallus do show that they're a better team here. Obviously, the Hunt and Dave Mastiff have been brought together by mutual hatred of Gallus. Gallus attacking the Hunt and Dave Mastiff respectively in their individual matches. So they've come together and try and take down Gallus. Gallus been on a bit of a tear. They obviously have lost quite a few matches individually as tag teams, but they're now getting firmly into that sort of picture where they're coming back to prominence again, which is pretty cool. And we've got essentially three factions in NXT UK already, and we're not even hit the year mark. So there you go. So at the beginning of the match, referee Chris Sharp, again friend of the show, just says, right, ring the bell, all 6 guys, they're not getting on the apron, so just ring the bell and away you go. And he just lets them go at it, and I thought that was fantastic. Great way to start the match. Really good match as well. Gallus showing their teamwork, they're showing that they are more together as a team by isolating the Wild Boar. And it would be Wild Boar and Primate making a lot of tags between that team and leaving Dave Mastiff on the outside, which I think was a mistake. Obviously, like I say, then Gallus knows how to use that teamwork, that dynamic, to make sure that that person then can't get over to the other side. Knowing that Dave Mastiff is probably the wild card here, and I say wild lightly because obviously he's teaming with Primate and Wild Boar. So they try and keep Mastiff out. When he does get in, he gets the hot tag and he takes out Gallus completely by himself. It would be this point where the Hunt would dive to the outside, take out Gallus for Dave Mastiff to almost get a double cannonball on the Coffey brothers. Joe Coffey moves out of the way, leaving his brother Mark prone in the corner. Dave Mastiff squashed him. But Gallus do come out on top with their superior chemistry as Joe Coffey hits the best for the bells for the win on Wild Boar for the victory, having taken out Primate and Mastiff on the outside. Like I say, that superior teamwork came into play there. For in this one, in the 6-man tag main event for NXT number 51, are Gallus. And so that is everything that happened on NXT UK number 51 this week. Really good show. I say that every single week. Go and watch it if you've got the WWE Network. Also, you may have noticed I'm not wearing a wrestling t-shirt, but I love this t-shirt. I'm currently watching Stranger Things Season 3. This t-shirt represents that, Stranger Things Series 2. It's available on QWERTY, I believe, still, maybe, if you want to get your tea going over to QWERTY. They're very, very good. Some of the money goes back to the artists that make the t-shirts, and there's some crackers on there, and they cost probably the most I've ever paid for a t-shirt on there is about £10. So it's a win-win situation, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, like I say, really good show. If you like our show, our rundown of everything that happened in NXT UK, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to join us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. You can also join the blog spot at cheapshotentertainment.blogspot.co.uk, and we're currently in process of sorting out a t-shirt shop at close to order. So you can go over there, you can order whatever you want with whatever design. Several, hopefully, that you can choose from. You pay your money, you take your choice, we can get a bit of commission, it feeds back towards you, get an awesome item of clothing, and everybody wins. And it is on that note that I say thank you to you guys for watching. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. I am your host Luke, and you have been watching Cheap Shot Entertainment on YouTube, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.